right. I want to appreciate you guys for taking your time this morning or this evening to join the Zoom. You can congratulate yourself for, making an effort and committing and investing in your own transformation. Okay. Um, Ji Hang, who has a chance to review the recording before you got into the Zoom today?
I listened to a little bit, but I've also gone over my notes.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. Ji Hang, have you had a chance to review the recording before you join the Zoom today?
No, thầy.
No? Okay.
Can you tell me about that? Thank you
Okay,
so much.
so part of being a mature adult is taking responsibility for yourself. Okay. So
Yes,
if I have to spend time reviewing, then we are wasting learning time for, we're not giving ourselves enough time to move forward if we keep on looking backward and just reviewing stuff. So in the future, whenever I send out the recording, okay, you want to make sure you take the time to view the recording before you go into the class. Okay. So we're gonna take
yes,
it seriously, okay? Especially for those of you who have made a financial commitment, you are actually, paying for this. So you can tell a person who is serious about it is going to do the homework. For example, Sen
yes,
is the only person who's actually done the lesson impression realization homework. Okay, you can tell who's going to transform faster than the person who does not do the homework. So always take some time to review the recording, and the best time to do your lesson impression realization is right after class when your mind is really fresh. Okay. So this
yes,
is just gonna, just review real quick for you guys. Okay, we're gonna pull all
yes.
my notes out and review really quick for you guys. And during this brief review,
Oh,
if
good
anything
morning,
jump
huh?
out at you, okay, if any lesson, impression, or realization jump out at
You've
you,
got the
feel free to share
camera
it.
on.
Huh?
You've
Happen?
got the camera on.
Oh,
Speaker on.
Okay. So this is
Speaker
season
background.
6 of Inner Being. What's different about this season compared to all
Like that.
previous season is that
No,
I
you
have
said
met
that.
with each of you personally and basically sort of establish a desire and goals. Okay, goals and vision for your future. You all know what aspect of your life you want to transform. Um, we talked about. No, we'll just go over real quick in order.
we
Okay,
talked
so
about
this is.
aligning against the current.
Hmm?
We talked
Say
about
what?
aligning against the current and also how we transform self-trivialization, fear of failure, fear of criticism and judgment, and lack of conditions, lack of belief, what is that again? Knowledge and lack of future vision. And also, we
Hey,
talked
thanks.
about four motivational uh, self-love.
There you go. Thank you so much, Ron. You basically summarized everything. Okay, I'll just go over all the slide real quick. Um, this is a pathway. Oop, let me share the screen. Share, share, share. What happened to my camera? Okay, there. Plug my camera in. Okay, there you go. So this is a pathway. Okay, a pathway has a roadmap. Okay, a pathway to expand our inner awareness. What for? So that we can create for ourselves health, happiness, okay, peace, things like that.
Mm.
It is a 21 day, traditional. It is a 21 day journey, but we're doing this in 21 weeks. And from the look of it, we may have to go a little longer, and I think, which is fine. I want to go slow so that you guys will get the material deeply and experience the real transformation. Okay. This is, and so the mentality that I invite all of you to adopt while you are attending the course and whenever you get into the Zoom is enjoyment. Okay, so when you enjoy, your inner state is balanced, you absorb a lot of knowledge. Okay, so enjoy learning is a mentality that we want to adopt. Last week, let's see, what did we talk about next?
Oh, what's in there? Oh.
So we use 3 perspectives. Most people look at life through only one view. We're looking at life through 3 different perspectives. We look at, worldly view, which is often explained by science. Okay? There are scientifically minded people out there, and they sort of explain everything through science. While science is great, we do notice that there's limit. Science cannot explain everything, and if you are just too focused on one perspective, one point of view, you are going to limit yourself to what life really offers. You're going to limit your own personal transformation. We look at life through the cosmological view, okay, cosmology, which basically explain how things come about, why we're here, where we're going, okay, where do we go when we die. And many people rely on religion, okay, or spirituality to explain their life, okay, religion and spiritual. And then we also take a look at human life and experiences, which is the main focus of this course. Okay, human life and experiences. Our health, is that a human experience? It's a human experience. Our relationship, our finances, our inner being, those are all human experiences that oftentimes science would neglect and religion will neglect. Okay, and at the same time, we will adopt the perspective or the point of view of moral philosophy, especially for people who don't particular philosophy, for people who don't particular subscribe to any religion, or people who are not really scientific minded. People can be common sense, for example, okay, but they have a sense of moral, and they have a philosophy of life. So these are the 3 views through which we will explain human life and experiences. Okay, there's a scientific view, there's a religious view, there's a moral philosophy view, and we will use all 3 of them in this journey to help us come to a full and complete understanding of our own human life and experience. Would that be a nice goal to reach, to have a full and complete understanding of human life and experience?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So if we understand fully and completely what life is about, what our experience is about, experience of peace, experience of happiness, experience of health and relationship, and even finances, then life is going to be pretty good. Okay, that is the transformation that we're talking about. And so when talking about transformation, we have a picture. This is a new picture that Ji Hang may not have seen this before. She's here anymore. Oh yeah. It is an idea that we are acquiring knowledge. We are always acquiring knowledge. Hello, Nancy. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Frank.
When we go to school, we acquire informative knowledge, information. Okay? It is like a worm, a caterpillar eating leaves. When a caterpillar eats leaves, it gets bigger, bigger and bigger and bigger. It gets fatter. Okay? But it will get fatter to a point where it will be very delicious for a bird. Okay, the bird will come down and eat the caterpillar because the caterpillar look very juicy. Instead, we are going to acquire the kind of knowledge that transforms us, not just more information, not just help us grow and change, on a normal daily basis, because we're all growing, we're all changing. That is, and that is a type of growth. But we're talking about a transformative change, a change that make us become a butterfly. When a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, it looks completely different. It behaves completely different. It has completely different abilities. Right? It fly away. It can be free. Okay, what we're trying to do is to set ourselves free, to give ourselves wings, set ourselves free. Right? Free from what? Free from pain and suffering. Free from the constraint of the passes. Okay, the constraint of our own barriers. Okay. So what we're doing here is transformative knowledge. Okay. And the beauty of transformative knowledge is that you can go over the same lesson material, but you're gonna experience a different understanding, which is different from informative knowledge. With informative knowledge, once you have the knowledge, when you have, ABC, 1 + 1 = 2, then it's there. You don't really learn anything more once you go back to the ABC or 1 + 1 = 2. But with transformative knowledge, you get to grow until a point where you will experience this metamorphosis, this transformation, and become a different animal, basically, a butterfly and fly away. And so with transformation, we talk about principles and law. Okay, life is like a boat on a river. The boat is floating on a current. The river has a direction on it. Okay, the direction, it goes from A to B. If we just float along the current, we can simply get from point A to point B very simply. Okay, and even if we were to commit effort and resources, technology like a motor onto this boat, then we can go from A to B very quickly. Okay, that is the principle of alignment. And if we choose to go against the current, okay, if we choose to go against the current, yeah, we can do that. Okay, we can go from B to A against the current. But in order to do that, we have to put in effort. Okay, a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of resources, even technology to go against the current. And yeah, we can go from B to A. Okay, we do that all the time. But the moment that we stop putting in the effort, we float right backward, right? This is an important transformative knowledge that I invite you to contemplate and apply to yourself. Okay? Take a look at yourself. Take a look at your life in terms of your health, in terms of your relationship, in terms of your finances, in terms of your inner being. Where in your life have you been putting in a lot of effort? You got somewhere, but the moment you stop committing those effort, you find yourself, oh, I'm back to where I started. If not back to where I started, but I'm worse now than I was before. So let's take some moment and share some of our own, insight, our own lesson impression, share some of our own reality. Can anybody apply this to your own reality? Any areas in life that you feel that you have been rowing against the current for who knows many years, and you find yourself in worse situation than before? Go ahead. Who wants to start? Yeah, Donna.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Frank. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good evening.
Morning.
So what comes to my mind was, for example, relationships, or mentally challenged, meaning I feel lost. So I would go to do meditation, and I think that I will come back and I will be a different person. That's my wish. And I heard so many stories that it would help. Thing is, I know this session today, when you were sharing the butterfly and the principles and laws, I just realized there is a continuous day-to-day practice in meditation is good. Now, this knowledge with continuous day-to-day practice that I need to put in use instead of meditation. Meditation, I can go and say, oh, today I'm tired, I can't, I mean, I will do it tomorrow and tomorrow, postpone. Now, with the knowledge here, I have a circumstances right here at the front of my eyes. I need to put it in use right away. And what do I use? Do I choose this with the flow, or do I with the flow which is accepted, or do I go against it and have a fight? So that is what it comes up to my mind. Yes, there are other practice, there are other transformation systems out there, and I find this is more effective for me. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Donna, for showing us sharing the value of the knowledge, and because you went through this philosophy many times before, you show it. Okay. I invite you to see if any of you are willing to open up and share something personal. Okay. That is one of the that's one of the key for transformation. Share something personal. Okay. For example, um, in terms of rowing against the current. Okay. Um, I can't think of anything right now either. Because sometimes when you get to a point when I'm don't think about the past anymore, so the past doesn't make an impact on me anymore. So sometimes it's I can't remember. But yeah, well, it'll come up. It'll come up in a little bit, and then when it pops up, I'll share it. Okay. Anybody else can apply the idea of rowing against the current? Any of you here feel like you have been working hard on something for your many years, your health, your relationship, your finance, and you find that at some point you've actually worse off? Anybody have anything like that?
Say I used to go to the gym, work out, get healthy, but after I injured myself, I guess it's maybe overworking or some situation, and then once that happened, it just prevented me from going to the gym anymore or working out anymore. And then after that, you just end up worse than before because you're not going, you're not doing it. You're just sitting around, and even worse, the job that I have, I am just sitting around. So I really have to take the motivation to start moving again, especially after COVID. Everybody's working at home, right? So I try, but I keep on falling back. So that's one thing.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Sen, for opening yourself up and sharing that. Yeah. Yeah. I experienced the same thing with going to the gym. Okay. There were a time where I would go to the gym and I would be able to keep my streak up for maybe like 3 months. Okay. And then something would happen and I would fall off and then I would never go back. Okay. And one day I would find my credit card, being charged monthly for the gym and I haven't made use of it. And so all of those time have been wasted. Okay. So those are example of putting in the effort, going against the current, achieving some result, but the moment you stop it, you go backward. Okay. That is because there are some principles and laws that we have missed out on. Okay. We are not aligning ourselves with some principles and law that allow other people to keep it consistent. Right? There are some people who can go to the gym every day and they are able to keep it consistent. So they have something that we don't. They understand, they may not know it consciously, but they are actually aligning themselves with some principles and law that allow them to be consistently motivated day to day, and then they get better and better and better. Whereas we, because we don't grasp those principles and law, we are going against the current. So that's a wonderful example of going to the gym. Yeah, I've experienced that myself, you know. Okay. So here we are going to discover some principles and law, right? The question, okay, what are some principles and laws that will help us be able to achieve those results and keep it permanently? Sustainability, lasting result. Okay. Anybody else want to share the principle, the reality of the principle of alignment before we move on to the next slide?
Yes, I'll share something.
Yeah.
I had a goal of retiring at 60. And when my new employer took over, he asked me if I would stay and help him out. And so I wasn't able to retire. I agreed to it. And now it's a couple years later, and I'm still struggling with the fact I haven't retired. And at the same time, I'm enjoying working, but I still want to retire. I enjoy the company of the people and friends that I have at work. And at the same time, I don't really want to be at work, but yeah, that hasn't aligned with my desire to fully retire. Yeah.
Yeah, great. That's a great example. Okay. Today, early in a little bit, we will learn about the principle of aligning with desire. Okay. Which will include the kind of question we ask about ourselves and the kind of question we ask about life that will help us align with our desire. And so keep that thought in mind, write it down. Okay. Write down your thoughts and your goal. That's why we want to begin with a goal. Okay. Anybody else want to share this part before we move on? I'm gonna pick on Nancy. Nancy, did you learn anything this last week?
Oh, I'm sorry, what you say, Frank?
Did you learn anything this last week? Do you what did you get out of it?
Um, I'm just I'm just I just learned about the your principles and laws, but I don't really get the whole picture yet, Frank.
Okay.
Yes.
But picture is simple. Okay. Have
Uh-huh.
you take a look at your life. Take a look at
Um,
your health.
yeah.
Take a look at your relationship. Take a look
Yes.
at your finances, your inner being.
Mm-hmm.
In those areas, which of those areas have you worked hard,
Mm.
maybe achieved some result, but then eventually your result doesn't stick.
Oh,
You
just
find yourself going
I'm
backward, or you wasted all time in which area of life?
so my life right now is kind of like a mess. I'm going through a breakup, so it's I'm just not really myself yet. So I just try to live happier, and I try to be you know um I try to love myself, going back to myself, to my inner being. So that's why I don't have enough energy to do stuff yet. So
So
I'm just
in the area of your relationship, would you
yes.
agree that you have
Hmm.
been working really hard in your relationship,
Yeah,
yet you did not achieve result and you basically go backward,
yes,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In the area of your relationship, you work
Mm-hmm.
hard to build a relationship, but
Mm-hmm.
instead of experience the result of
Mm-hmm.
a happy, harmonious relationship, you're now experience a breakup. So which is like going backward.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's how the principle, that's how, that's what we're talking about, the principle. Okay. So the
Mm-hmm.
idea here is that, okay, you know that you've been working hard, but
Mm-hmm.
we're not getting the result we want. And that is
Yes.
because there are some principles and laws
Mm-hmm.
that we have not aligned ourselves to. You get
Mm.
that idea?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have been going against the current. We've been working hard. Yes, that's great. But we didn't achieve the result. That is because there are some principles and laws that we have not aligned ourselves to. Therefore, we have been going against, we've been getting, wasted time and effort. Okay,
Yes.
that's the only lesson that I want you to get, is that okay, there are some principles and law, and because I have not aligned myself against with those principles and laws, I have been achieving negative result instead of positive result. That's the only lesson I want you to get from this one. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Good. So the question we all want to ask is, okay, what are some principles and laws? Okay, so if we want to align ourselves and get result and lasting, permanent result, sustainable reality, then what are some principles and laws?
Mm.
Okay, so that brings us to the principle of transformation. Okay, there is a principle of transformation here that says is that we as human beings are like a little chicken in the egg, or like a caterpillar inside a cocoon, okay, a larva inside a cocoon. And the goal is to break out and become a bigger and better person, a happier person. It's a beautiful morning outside, but I'm getting a sunlight in my face. Let me turn this off. Let me close it up a little bit. Okay. Oh, we're still having that light on my face. Okay. So principle of transformation basically say that, we all want to become a bigger and better person, a happier person. Okay. You guys still there?
Yep. My friend?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes.
Here.
My internet on the other computer is having issues as well, so give me a moment to get back in, okay? My internet on the other computer is having in, okay? Well, give me a moment. Okay, my apologies, guys. The other computer is freezing up, so while we're waiting for that computer to start up, um, we're going to just talk a little bit on this computer, okay? Waiting for that computer to start up. You guys can hear me okay in this computer?
Yes, it's
Okay,
kind
Yes.
we're
of
going
it's kind
to
of
just talk a
repeating.
little bit
Alrighty.
on this
Okay.
computer.
Awesome.
Okay. So yeah,
Frank,
there.
stop, please. You're repeating yourself.
You guys
It's
can hear this
quite-
computer? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's repeating.
Yeah, I think it's bouncing back and forth between two computers. Let me shut the other one down and restart. Okay. So yeah, the other one bouncing back and forth between two computers. I think we're okay now. Okay, you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
that's much better.
I appreciate your patience. Okay. Alrighty. So let's close this one down. Alrighty. So, principle of transformation. Okay. Review, important review. We want to become bigger and better person. Okay. But we have barriers. Okay. All of us, we have barriers that is preventing us from breaking out and becoming that person that we want to be. And those barriers are called self-trivialization, which is self-limiting self-awareness. Self-limiting self-awareness means these are awareness about ourselves that are actually limiting ourselves. Okay? Things like fear of failure, fear of criticism and judgment, lack of condition, lack of knowledge, lack of future vision are the big barriers or the limitations that are preventing us from breaking out of our shell and becoming bigger, better, okay, more mature, more happy. And so the goal is to break out of this shell. Okay, we're going to break out of this shell of 6 layer here. And we may have tried it in the past. Okay, many of us have made the effort of breaking out. And oftentimes we did experience change. However, in the past, we take a look and we notice that oftentimes we change because we have to experience something undesirable. We change because some pain. We change because some suffering. We change because some loss. If pain and suffering is not bad enough, then bigger pain and suffering force us to change. If bigger pain and suffering not bad enough to force us to change, then great losses force us to change. And so we change, okay? We change, we've been growing, but oftentimes it is the price that we have to pay with pain and suffering because we've been rowing against the boat. We have been rowing the boat against the current. Okay, so with the principle of transformation says that instead of waiting around for pain and suffering to teach us and force us to change, why not initiate change from within? Right? External circumstances, pain and losses, those are external circumstances. They force us to change. External circumstances like it's like impacting the egg from the outside. Okay, this egg, this shell, if you impact the egg from the outside, usually, you food. Right? The egg in the morning, we make breakfast, we break the egg from the outside in, and the egg become food. Oftentimes we have to change, like maybe at work. Have anybody here been reprimanded and got in trouble at work until you had to change? Anybody here? Do you ever make a mistake at work and so you got reprimanded and so you had to change?
all the time.
There you go. Okay. Okay. Or we experience some relationship trouble. Oh, until now we have to change. Okay. So we grow and we change, and that's normal. Everybody does that. Okay. But we have to pay the price for that. Principle of transformation say that instead of letting external circumstances break us from the outside in, why not break from the inside out? Why not initiate change from within out? Okay. And we do that using the energy of love. The energy of love. Okay. And when we talk about love, we're talking about love for yourself, love for your family, love for your organization, and love for the world. Okay, we'll go deeper into this later when we talk about the topic of love, but for now, it is the love of ourselves, love of our family, of our organization, and of the world that gives us the power to change without waiting for pain and suffering. Okay, and so that's all the slide from last week. Let's move on. Okay. And then the next slide talks about the principle of mental activation. Okay, which we in this season we call it the gold box method. Okay, you can review the recording on why I call it the gold box method, but it's basically lesson, impression, and realization. There is a science that shows that if a human being can perform a certain task for 10,000 hours, 10,000 hours, then they will become a master. They will become an expert in that task. 10,000 hours will make you an expert. Here, we're going to apply that concept to our transformation, our learning. Instead of spending 10,000 hours, we say acquire 10,000 lesson impression or realization. If you acquire 10,000 lesson impression realization, then you will become a master of human life and experience. You will transform. So we do a math. So we do the math. Okay, let's say this is a 6-month. This is a 6-month program. Okay, I'll go with 10,000. 10,000 lesson impression realization. Okay, and this is a 6-month. You know what? Let's do 10 months. Easier than math. Okay, let's do math. Okay, in 10 months. Let's say in 10 months, and if you can acquire 10,000 lesson impression realization, so that comes out. We're gonna cross out the 0. So now we have 1,000 lesson impression realization per month. That's what we need to do. Okay, 1,000 lesson impression per month. In a month, there are 30 days, right? Right. Month, 30 days. Let's cross that out. Okay, we're just going to come down here. So we have so 30 days in 1 month. So now we have 1,000 lesson impression realization in 30 days. Okay, basically we just substitute the 30 day for the month, cross out the 0 again. So now we're talking about 100 lesson impression realization over 3 days. That means if you acquire 30 lesson impression realization per day, then you will experience total and complete transformation in 10 months. And if you have learned nothing in the past week, then you have just rode against the current and gotten nowhere really fast. Okay. If you want to transform in 10 months, you have to acquire 30 lessons a day. So we can start taking a look. There are 24 hours in a day. Let's say we sleep for 8 hours. There's 16 hours left. Okay. Let's do per hour. Okay. So let's do in a day, 30 lesson per day. We're going to subtract the 8 hours sleeping. So we're down to 16 hours. 16 hours. Okay. We'll come to about, let's say less than 2 hours, less than 2 lessons per hour. Okay. Less than 2 lessons per hour. So you can even make up a plan, break it down into steps, put it in your alarm every hour, every 30 minutes, every 30 minutes. Okay, what lesson did I just learn? Because we are always interacting with people. We are always experiencing life, human life and experience. If every moment and every hour of our day, we are learning something, we are reviewing, okay? Doesn't have to be, this lesson, but it's best if you review the material that we learn in this course throughout the day, every hour. Okay, think about, okay, what did I learn? What did Frank just say? Oh, what did Ron just say? What did Sen just say? What did Nancy just say today? Just think about it. Think about it. Think about it. And all throughout the day, you think about it. Think about the lesson, find the impression, and then you will experience some realization. And in no time, you will be a master of human life and experience, an expert mentor, if those of you in the mentor program. But if you don't obey the principle, you can go ahead and spend your time 2 hours a week or 10 hours a week. Many of you are following this philosophy many days a week. But if you don't do the lesson impression realization, you are not aligning yourself with the principle of mental activation. You will get nowhere fast. Okay. So I hope that impresses upon you the value of reviewing your lesson, finding the impression, and see if you can come up with any realization. Having said that, what did you guys realize? You're going to apply that right away. What are your lesson, impression, and realization? If you didn't find anything impressionable or applicable, or if you didn't realize anything, then just repeat the lesson, regurgitate. Go ahead.
I've learned that I do not do enough lessons, impressions, and realizations. A lot of times I hear the lesson and I procrastinate because I have things to do and I don't end up doing it. So, yes, I need to do that more. I realize that now too. The more you share your lesson and impression, the more you retain from the lesson.
Anybody else?
May I?
Yes, please.
The lesson I learned is, or that impressed me was the breakdown. So it gives me more awareness of, oh, so every 30 minutes, I will find something, a lesson, or some realization, or some aha moments. What is a lesson here? So that's a great way to break down for me instead of, this has been challenged for me too. People just saying, oh, then how do I, how do I accumulate 10,000 lessons? How do I do that? So at least this a breakdown for me, the awareness of, oh, okay, what did I learn? I was watching a TikTok, I was interact with this person, or I was listening to this video. What did I learn from that? What was the impression I got? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I share one more thing?
Yeah.
I think when I'm in class, I'm learning a lot, and I do know now that I should do my lesson impression because it's fresh in my mind. But during the day, when I'm in reality, I see a lot of times with myself that when somebody says something to me or they do an action, and I can, because of the lessons, I can see it. I can feel it now within myself that, yeah, I know I've learned this in class and I can apply it now to reality as well. And that's another thing that I'd like to share.
What about Jihang, Sen, or Nancy? What do you guys got out of this discussion just now?
Well, like what Frank says, I do procrastinate as well. My realization is, it's not just everything. All life experiences at any moment, there's an impression, and there's always a lesson to learn, or a realization to reflect on yourself, right? So make it a habit. That would be a great idea as well. And yeah, I could see how it can improve life. Like what Frank says, you're able to reflect and interpret your experiences and navigate through life for the better, right?
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Sen. Anybody else?
You're able to accept more things with honor and gratitude now. That's what I find. And yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. Okay. So that's the principle of mental activation. Okay. We need to expand our mind. And 10,000 now, then 10,000, that's too much. Don't worry about that. Just one lesson per hour or per 30 minutes. Okay. So today, let's talk about the principle of light. Okay. Principle of light. You guys can help me draw along. Some of you have received. You probably you guys probably haven't received the package yet, but I've sent you a notebook with some color that you can use to to draw along. Okay, but today, okay, like right now, you can draw along with me. Okay, this is called the principle of light. Let me write the name of it at the bottom. Principle of light. Okay, principle of light. Very important principle that we use again and again and again. Everything is built on this principle of light. You can help me draw a rectangle with the black marker or something dark. Okay, and we label it at the bottom, dark room. Okay, dark room. Now, when we talk about light, everybody understand that wherever there is light, there's no darkness. Wherever there's darkness, there's no light. Okay, that is the duality of light. Okay, so if we have a dark room, this room is dark, represented by a rectangle, in dark color. What is the simplest way to brighten up this room? What is the simplest way to brighten up a dark room? Without thinking, can somebody just blurt it out? What's the simplest way to brighten up, this dark room?
Bring in the light. Turn on the light.
Yeah, bring on a light, turn on a light. Okay. You flip the switch, you open the window, you light a candle. When you flip the switch, energy from outside somewhere go through the wire into the room, it lights up the light bulb. When you open the window, the light from the outside comes in and flood the room. Okay. The best way to brighten up a dark room is to bring in the light. So you can draw an arrow from the outside into the room and label it. Use a bright color like yellow. Bring in light. Okay, bring in light. The simplest way to brighten up any dark room is to bring in light. Even a 3-year-old know how to do that. Okay. My son, when he's 3 years old, he walked by. There's this next to a stair. There's a switch that is actually his height. He knows how to turn on the light just by flipping the switch. A 3-year-old can do that. Okay, and so it's very simple. If you want to brighten up the room, you just bring the light in. Okay, but because the principle.
Sorry.
But because the principle of light says that wherever there's light, there's no darkness, and wherever there is darkness, not enough light, you can argue, okay, that if somehow we remove the darkness from the room, then we would get light. We can argue that in theory, but realistically speaking, can you remove darkness from the room and expect the room to brighten up? Can we remove the darkness from the room and expect the room to brighten up?
No.
No. Okay. Thank you so much, Nancy. Okay. You cannot remove the darkness from the room and expect the room to suddenly brighten up. It's not realistic. It doesn't work in real life. Okay. So the second option, okay, the second option is to remove darkness. You can draw a picture of the arrow from the inside going out, but you're gonna have to cross it out because remove darkness doesn't work. Okay. You cannot remove the darkness from the room and expect the room to suddenly brighten up. No, you have to bring light into the room. Okay, so let's take a look at our life. So we're gonna, above that rectangle, we're gonna draw a small picture of a house. Okay, small picture of a house. At the bottom of this house, we're gonna label it our inner being. On the left, we're gonna label it health. On the right, we label it relationship. And the top, we label it finance. Okay, finances. Now, when we first think about life, okay, in fact, when we first think about the problems of life, okay, when we first think about the problems of life, did it tend to feel pretty complicated? Is life pretty complicated? Yeah, I see head shaking, right? Life sometimes can feel pretty complicated. So many things to worry about, so many challenges, okay, so many issues. But wise people have shown us that life is not all that complicated. There are only 4 areas that we ever need to worry about. The area of our inner being, the area of our health, the area of our relationship, and the area of our finances. If we simplify it and divide life into those 4 categories, you will realize that all problems of life will fall into one of those areas. Any problems of life, okay? You think about it and you realize, okay, oh yeah, it's my health that is being affected. It's my relationship that's in trouble. It's my finances or my inner being. And the reason they feel complicated is because of the interaction between these 4 areas of life. If, for example, our health is in trouble, okay, if our physical health is in trouble, or our mental health is in trouble, then our inner being, okay, will also be in trouble. If our health is in trouble, it's going to be difficult to go to work, make money. So our finance is going to be in trouble. Okay. If our health is in trouble, we're not going to be able to interact with lots of friends. We're going to be isolated. And so that will affect our relationship. Not to mention, sometimes we get sick and we get in pain and we get angry. That's going to drive people away. Our health, when it's in trouble, it will affect our inner being, our finances, and our relationship. When our relationship is in trouble, what happened to our inner being? We're going to be pretty down, huh? We're going to be pretty depressed. We're going to be pretty negative. And if our relationship is in trouble, then our health is affected, right? If our relationship is in trouble, for example, some people get divorced, then half the finances go away. So the finances is in trouble. And vice versa. If a person's finance is in trouble, it will affect their health. Okay. It'll affect the inner being. It'll affect the relationship. When you lose money, you also lose friends. People are gonna go away from you. But a person who has a lot of money tend to acquire friends. People who have a lot of friends tend to make money. Our inner being is the foundation of all of this. When our inner being is well, is good, okay? If we are at peace, if we are generous with people, if we are grateful, it will positively affect our health. A person whose inner being involves joy, hope, faith, trust, authenticity, humility, that's going to positively affect our relationship with people. Okay, that makes you a person of, people want to be close to you. If we're hopeful, if we're positive, guess what? We attract money, so we can make our finances go up when our inner being is positive. And so all aspects of life can be categorized into these 4 areas: our inner being, our health, our relationship, and our finances. And they only seem complicated because they are interrelated. And then any part of any aspect of our life gets in trouble, it's gonna basically pull all the other aspects of life down as well. And similarly, if any aspect of our life gets improved, it will pull everything up, especially the inner being part. Now, earlier we talked about the principle of light. Okay, we talked about bringing the light in and removing the darkness. Well, the problems of life can be compared to the darkness in the room. If you have a problem with your health, that is darkness in the areas of your health. If you have problem with your relationship, guess what? That is darkness in your relationship. If you have a problem with your finances, that is darkness in your finances. And if your inner being is in trouble, there is darkness in your inner being. And when it comes to the principle of light, we agree that we cannot remove darkness. We can only bring light in. But here's the problem. We try to remove darkness all the time. How do we try to remove darkness from our life? By fixing the problem. We try to fix the problem and expect the problem to go away. When we get sick, what do? We go to the doctor. We expect the doctor to remove our illnesses. Medication, surgery, treatment, whatever, right? We expect the doctor to remove our illnesses. But if we don't bring light into our health, the illnesses will go away, but it'll come right back. In terms of our finances, some people get into credit card. That is darkness in the areas of their finances. They try to remove the darkness in the finances by opening another credit card and transfer the balance. Okay. Or some people work harder. They get a second job in order to pay off the debt, in order to remove the debt, right? By work harder, get a second job. But if they do that, their health is going to go down, right? And so they're going to get sick, and then they're going to have to use the finance to pay for their health. When a person has a trouble with their relationship, their spouse, for example, they may get divorced. They get another spouse, thinking that they have removed the problems of relationship. But if they didn't bring light into their relationship in terms of learning how to love, learning how to be in a harmonious relationship, if they have not brought light into the areas of the relationship, then the problem is going to come back. They'll get divorced again. And they'll try to remove the same problem, they'll get divorced again. And they get married again. So we see people go from one relationship to another, okay? Or one job to another, and their life don't seem to get better, or they get better for a little time and then they float right backward. That is because they have not obeyed the law or the principle of light. They've been trying to remove the darkness. But once you understand the principle of light, says that you can only bring light into the room. Okay, we can only bring light into our health. We can only bring light into our relationship. We can only bring light into our finances. We can only bring light into our inner being. Once you understand that principle, then you're going to be able to experience the kind of life that will be healthy. You have harmonious relationship, you have abundant finances, and your being will be whole and complete. And it'll be sustainable. So would you like to know how to bring light into these 4 areas of life? Yeah? It'll be nice to know how to bring the light in, okay? So there are some switches, not just like a light, okay? There's some switches that we can turn on, some candles that we can turn on. So we're gonna draw that house again, this time bigger. Okay, so it can take up most of the screen. Leave a little bit of space at the top. You draw that house again, filling up most of the screen. On the bottom, rewrite the word in being. Okay. On the left column, we can write it vertically. HEALTH for health. On the right, we can write it vertically. Relationship. On the top pointy part, write finances. Okay. And the bottom, so basically in the bottom is inner being. On the left column or left wall is a health. On the right column or wall is relationship. On the top is finances. And in the middle of this house, you want to draw a hexagon, kind of like a turtle shell. Nice hexagon, 6-sided figure in the middle. Okay. And each of the corner of the hexagon, you want to connect it to the corners of the house. So the bottom 2 corners of the hexagon connected to the bottom 2 corners of the house. The left and right corners of the hexagon, you want to attach it horizontally to the left and right wall. The top 2 corners of the hexagon, the top right, you want to attach it to the middle of the right roof. And the top left corner of the hexagon, you want to attach it to the middle of the left roof. So now we have a turtle shell looking inside the house. These are going to represent the rooms inside the house. Okay. And what we're going to do, we're going to light up this house with a bunch of candles. So let's find some nice pen. I'm going to use green to draw a candle. So draw a candle in each of the room, okay? In the upper middle of the room. We'll leave some space to label it later. So draw a candle, just one line like that is enough to make it a candle. So we want to take some time to draw this nicely because we are lighting up the house. Okay, just that's a candle right there. You add some fire to the candle. Use a red color, okay? Red fire. And then use some yellow to make some radiant rays radiating from the fire. Okay, make it nice. Take some time to make it nice. I should have drawn that a little closer inside the room. Nice to have clear mental image of what this house look like. And we have 7 candles lighting up our room. And let's use red pen to label it. Yeah, we can label it. At the bottom room, okay, right above the word inner being, at the bottom room of the house, it'll be the triangle, okay? Write the word wisdom. Okay. On the bottom left room, next to the health, bottom left, we write the word mentality. Okay. On the bottom right room, next to the relationship wall, you write the word character. Okay. Right above character, on the upper right room, you write the word competency. Okay. On the upper left room, right above mentality, you write the word physicality. Okay. And the very top room, right below finances, you write the word material. Okay. Material. That leaves the middle room. With the middle room, I want you to write the word integrity. Okay, integrity. Some of you have gone through this philosophy in different format before. Different people teach it. Even I taught it. I may have used different words, but in this season, we're going to use the word integrity. Okay, and I will explain that in a little bit. So this is our house. Okay, this house has a name. This is called the house of holistic wealth, or house of holistic health. Okay, house of holistic wealth or house of holistic health. Holistic wealth, the wealth of wisdom, the wealth of mentality, the wealth of character, the wealth of competency, the wealth of physicality, the wealth of material, and the wealth of integrity. Okay, holistic health, healthy mind, healthy body, mentality. Notice the mentality is attached to the wall of health on the left side. Physicality is attached to the wall of health on the left side. Physical health, mental health. Physical health, mental health. Holistic health. Not just physical, not just mental, physical and mental. That will make it holistic health. Healthy in terms of relationship, character, competency. Okay. Healthy finances and healthy inner being. Another way of saying that this process, this program is a process of enrichment. We are here to become rich, holistically rich. Rich in wisdom, rich in mentality, rich in character, rich in physicality, in competency, rich in material, and rich in integrity. Okay? Let me just briefly define some of these words for you. Okay, so you can, let's use another piece of paper. Just briefly define some of these words for you. Or just sort of, when we talk about wisdom, we're talking about awareness. We'll go into detail later, but we're talking about awareness. Okay, there are different levels of awareness. Wisdom is nothing more than awareness. The person who has more awareness has more wisdom. When we're talking about mentality, while there are many different mentality that a person can adopt, in this philosophy, we invite you to simplify it and focus on the following mentality: serenity, okay, which is peace and joy. Peace and joy. I'll even write that down. Peace and joy. One word, serenity. We're talking about the mentality of mag, na, ni, mi, ti. Long word, magnanimity, which is greatness, let's just say great spirit. Okay, let's say great spirit instead of greatness. Great spirit. A person of great spirit. The spirit of generosity, the spirit of capaciousness. Okay, and we're talking about honoring gratitude. Okay, which is about appreciation. Okay, honoring gratitude, which is about appreciation. That's mentality. Okay, we'll talk about character. What does it mean to be a person who is rich in character? Okay, how about joy? How about hope? How about faith? How about love? Okay, gratitude. It includes the previous one, some of the previous one. Okay, gratitude, generosity, which comes from magnanimity. How about humbleness? And how about authenticity? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And of course, wisdom is also part of character. Okay. So that covers wisdom, mentality, and character. Okay. I won't go into detail the competency and the physicality. We'll learn that later. But on another page, yeah, let's on another page. On another page, I want you to write down the word integrity. Okay, so write the word integrity on the top. Integrity. Anybody here good at math? Anybody remember math in high school? What do you do when you integrate something? Ron, what do you do when you integrate something?
What is it?
How about in the US? Anybody know the integration versus segregation? There was a time when black colored skin was separated or segregated from white colored people. Okay, society did not allow black people to exist in the same space as white people. Black people could not go into restaurant with white people. Black people could not be in the same school. Black people could not be on the same bus. But at some point, society's awareness got to level, and the law changed that so that they can integrate black and white people into one society. In math, when you integrate a curve, you are taking the sum of the area under the curve. So the word integrate or integrity means nothing more than to bring together. So that's why in this picture, integrity is in the middle. It brings everything together. It brings wisdom, mentality, and character. It brings competency, physicality, and material together. A person of integrity is a person who has wisdom, mentality, character. A person of integrity is a person who has competency, physicality, and material as well. Okay, a person of integrity is a person who is rich in wisdom, rich in mentality, rich in character, rich in competency, material, and physicality. And so integrity, you only need to write down 3 words. It's a state. I'll just write down the word state so that you guys, let's use another pen. Let's use integrity is just in black pen state. Fix that. The state, S-T-A-T, okay, state of being. There are many states of being, okay? But integrity is one state of being, but state of being what? Okay, you gotta ask what state of being what? Integrity is a state of being whole, perfect, and complete. Integrity is a state of being whole, perfect, and complete. Whole, perfect, and complete in wisdom, whole, perfect, and complete in mentality, whole, perfect, and complete in character, whole, perfect, and complete in competency, physicality, and whole, perfect, and complete in material. Okay? So that's what we're really trying to get. This is a house of holistic wealth. We're trying to get to the state of being whole, perfect, and complete. There are actually 5 qualities. Okay, instead of when we think, oh my God, what does it take to be a person of perfection? And no, this is not about perfection. This is the state of being whole and complete. And when we get to that part, we will talk about 5 quality or virtue. Okay, there are 5 qualities and virtue that makes a person whole, perfect, and complete. Makes a person of integrity. I just list them. I just verbalize them. They are. Should I write it down? Okay, fine. I'll write it down. Use the red pen. 5 quality of virtue of being a person of integrity. The virtue or the quality of humanity. Okay. The quality of propriety. The quality of trustworthiness. Okay. The quality of accountability. And the quality of wisdom. You'll find that wisdom appear in a lot of rooms. Okay, we won't talk about that, but just write down the word for now. It is the quality or the virtue of humanity, the virtue of propriety, the virtue of trustworthiness, 2 S's in worthiness, and the virtue of accountability and the virtue of wisdom. When a person has these 5 qualities, they will be whole, perfect, and complete. Okay? So we leave that there for now. Everybody got a chance to write this down? Okay. So let's go back to this house. The foundation is our inner being. Okay. So imagine this house is like this. There's a foundation of our inner being. The foundation and the walls are like the pillars. Okay. I'm gonna use these markers to represent the walls, and then these 2 markers to represent the finances. Okay, this house is built on 2 walls and the walls and the foundation. Have you yourself or know anybody who has spent a lot of time building the finances? Right, building the finances. It is like building the house from the roof down. Okay, you spent many years working, doing businesses. We focus on building our finances, which is the roof. And then suddenly something happened, we get sick. Basically, our health collapses, right? What happened to this house when this pillar of health collapsed? Then our finances also collapse, right? Why? Because we have to use our finance to pay for our health. I won't name, but can you think of a famous person? Famous person, lots of money, spend a lot of time making money, and then let's say they get sick, they get cancer or something. Okay, they get sick cancer,
Steve
and then they have
Jobs.
to,
Steve Jobs.
yeah, okay,
Oh,
yeah,
thanks, Dan.
yeah. So yeah, okay. So what about people who spend a lot of time making money? Okay, spending a lot of time building the house from the roof down, and the relationship falls apart. Can anybody think about that? When your relationship, let's say with your finance, with your spouse, falls apart, guess what happened to this roof? Literally, okay, half of your finance goes away.
Yeah. Yes, that's all. Amazon.
Huh? What'd you say, Sen?
Yes, that's all. Amazon.
Okay. So yeah, a human being can spend many time and many years working on their finances. When the relationship falls apart, they literally lose half of the finance, okay, through a marriage, divorce, whatever. Okay, so and then what happened to a person who spent a lot of time building a house from the roof, okay, and they don't take care of their inner being. This house now has no foundation, everything collapses. Okay, everything collapses. With no foundation of inner being, everything collapses. And here, if you look at the room, notice that the inner being is built with wisdom, mentality, and character. If you have wisdom and you have mentality and you have physicality, okay, your physical health, then you get whole health, holistic health, whole and perfect and complete in this health. If a person has wisdom and have richness in character, and they have some competency, which is, skills and power and influence, guess what? Their walls of relationship is very strong, right? So the wisdom is the first part of the inner being that we need to work on. After that, we will light up the candle of our mentality. We will light up the candle of our character so that we have a strong foundation. We have a strong two walls, and then you can work on the finance after. And here's a secret. Let me tell you this secret. Okay. If you are holistically wealthy or holistically healthy, if you are rich in wisdom, if you're rich in mentality, if you're rich in character, competency, physicality, and you have richness in integrity, if you are holistically rich, it is impossible to be materially poor. I'll say that again. If you're rich in wisdom, rich in mentality, rich in character, rich in physicality, competency, and integrity, if you're rich in these other six candles, the six other room, it is impossible to be materially poor. Whereas previously, we have been working on building the house from the roof. We have been working on our material riches. And the material riches will quickly collapse, right? We've been flowing against the current, rolling against the current, investing time, money, resources, and they don't work. We go right backward. But if we follow the principle of light, follow the principle of alignment, follow the principle of transformation, we work on building this house from the bottom up, from the inner being, which is wisdom, mentality, character, integrity, physicality, and competency. When we are holistically rich, it is impossible to be materially poor. Money will just come flowing in. Why? Because when your relationship with people is strong, then your connection, your your opportunity for businesses and money making is going to come in. That's where you draw the money. When you have the health, when you have the physical and mental health, you can do anything, right? But without health, you can't do anything. So and with integrity, that's it. That's the key to tie everything in. Okay, mentality, integrity is a state of being whole, perfect, and complete. And here, what we're trying to get is coming to a state of being whole, perfect, and complete. Do you guys get the idea that if you are holistically rich, it is impossible to be materially poor? If you're rich in these 6 areas, wisdom, mentality, character, integrity, physicality, competency, and it's impossible to be materially poor. Money will just find its way to you because that is a law. That is a principle. Laws and principle of the universe, and it's not something that we can argue. It is just the way it is, and we just have to understand it, comprehend it, and just align ourselves with it and reap the benefit. So let's write these aspect down on another sheet of paper, and let me show you how another way to enrich those. Okay, so how do we enrich ourselves? How do we enrich ourselves in these aspects of life? Okay. Whereas previously, we have spent time, effort on a material aspect. Okay, like money, okay, on a material aspect, like money. But after a while, when our our physicality, our health is in trouble, we cannot keep our material wealth. And so society begin to question the value of having material wealth. They say that you have to have physical. We have to have physical health as well, which is our physicality. In order to keep our material wealth, we have to have the wealth of physicality. Because a person who gets cancer, person who dies young is not going to be able to, take the material wealth with them. So the value of physicality comes into play. Our health comes into play, right? But if you take a look at there are many people who have both material wealth and physical wealth. Physicality. Look at athlete. Right? There are a lot of athletes out there. There are a lot of famous people out there who have both physicality, strong body, and they have a lot of money. But if they, let's say, don't know how to manage money, they can acquire money, but if they don't know how to manage money, how to keep money, how to use money in a meaningful way, they can lose it very quickly as well. And so money management skill, we call it competency. There are many different competency, but one of them is money management skill comes into play. If you want to keep your material wealth, you have to have the physicality and you have to have the competency. Right? And society begins to value people who not only have money, who have health, physical health, but the competency to be able to maintain the material wealth. Okay, but even if a person have the know-how, they have the techniques, they have the skills to keep their money, but they have poor character, Do you see that they can lose the money real quickly? Do you guys know any scandals? Celebrity scandal. Do we get celebrity scandal a lot? Rich people. Okay, a lot of skills, a lot of competency, healthy people, a lot of material wealth. But there's something going on with the character. They say something and it'll offend all the fan. Okay, the character can quickly take away all of the material wealth. Okay, but how do you maintain character? Okay, so people, okay, so we society begin to value a person of character. Okay, the person value a person of character, but how do you maintain character? There are many good character out there. There are many people of good character, but even then, sometimes they will falter. Okay, there are many people who, for many, many years, can be an idol, can be an inspiration to everybody, but their character can falter. That is because they lack the right mentality to maintain that character. Okay? To maintain that character. And so society begins to value people who can have here's a definition of mentality. I mean, these are the three quality of a person of rich mentality: people who has peace and joy, who has great spirit, who has appreciation, which is serenity, magnanimity, and honor and gratitude. But do you notice that even with serenity, magnanimity, and honor and gratitude, we somehow can't keep that? We can't be joyful all the time. We can't be generous of spirit all the time. We can't be grateful all the time, right? That somehow is not sustainable either. So what else do we need? Turns out that we need wisdom and awareness. Wisdom and awareness in order to maintain our mentality. Okay, wisdom and awareness to maintain our mentality. Of course, we have already learned that to have this is integrity. Integrity demands that we have all of them. But over here, you take a look. You will notice that the material aspect of our life, the physicality, even the competency, they tend to relate to the material dimension. Whereas wisdom, mentality, and character relate to the non-material dimension. Okay, so now I'm expanding your awareness about the dimensions of human being, okay, human life and experience. There is the material dimension, and then there is the non-material dimension of our life. Before we have wisdom and awareness, we judge rich people based on the material dimension. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of health. They have great skills. Those are all material dimension. But those material tend not to last. They fall apart when that person lack the non-material dimension. They lack character, they lack mentality, they lack wisdom. But here we're trying to get to whole, perfect, and complete. So we need both material and non-material. Okay, we need both the material dimension and the non-material dimension of our being. Okay, and so let's use the same page. Okay, so, yeah, let's use the different page. Let me think. Should I use the same page? too many things on one page to get a little confusing. Let's use a different page. With different page, you're gonna write the word material, nice and big. Okay. And below that, you write the word non-material. Material on top and non-material on the bottom, vice versa, doesn't matter. And then you draw an arrow on one side for material pointing down to non-material, and on the other side, draw an arrow from non-material to material. And next to those curved arrows, you write the word IZE. Okay. So what we're doing is we are going to materialize the non-material dimension of our life. And then we are going to non-materialize the material dimension of our life. IZE. Okay. To turn something into something else. To materialize is to make something material. Okay. To materialize is to make something material. To non-materialize is to make something non-material. Whereas we have the material and the non-material dimension of our life, we are going to materialize the non-material and we're going to non-materialize the material. Okay. And it turns out that society does that all the time. We just have not been aware of it, especially in the marketing business world. Okay. How does the marketing world non-materialize something? And what happened when they non-materialize it? Okay, remember this is a process of enrichment. We are enriching ourselves. Okay, the goal is to become holistically rich. Okay, rich in wisdom, mentality, character, integrity, physicality, competency, and material. How do you enrich yourself? How do the marketing people basically enrich themselves? And they do simply this. They take a material object and they non-materialize it. For example, a pair of basketball shoes. Okay, a pair of basketball shoes has a certain material value to it. There's a certain cost to make the pair of shoes. The rubber, the leather, the coloring, the shoelaces. Okay, the labor cost for the people to sew them together, the labor cost to transport them, distribute them. Those are all the material costs of making a pair of shoes. And so you can go to a store and you buy a pair of shoes. Okay? They can be worth in dozens of dollars to hundreds of dollars, and that is the material worth of a pair of shoes. But the marketing world is very smart. They don't just sell a pair of shoes for dozens or hundreds of dollars. They give a pair of shoes to a famous athlete, a basketball superstar, an NBA champion. And then they film that champion wearing that pair of shoes, playing the game. And what happened is that when people, the audience, the fan look at it and they, oh wow, this shoes had been worn by this famous basketball player. I want it. And so the marketing world can raise the price of this pair of shoes. Instead of hundreds of dollars, it could cost thousands of dollars. Do you guys notice that? That is one way that the marketing world has non-materialized the material value of just a pair of shoes by associating with somebody famous. Another way that the marketing world does that is by limiting the quantity. Okay, let's say a company that can make a bunch of purses for women, right? Women love to buy purses. The company has the capability of making 1,000,000 purses that they can sell for, hundreds of dollars. But instead, they limit it to only, let's say, 100 purses. And so they have infused the quality of rarity into the material value of a purse, and the non-material quality, which is the rareness, they can drive the price up. They can sell a purse for thousands of dollars. Right? You notice that? Yeah. This is how diamond. Okay, diamond. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of diamond in the world. Okay, natural diamond bought in the dug up in the mine. There are lots of diamond, but diamond are so expensive. Why? Why is diamond expensive? Because the company that store the diamond, they only release a tiny amount. They only release a tiny amount of diamond into the market so that they can drive the price way up. This is how the marketing world is able to non-materialize the material aspect. Not only that, they associate it with ideas like love and marriages and sustainability and all of that stuff. And that is the worldly view in terms of material object, worldly view. So the question is, how do we as human beings non-materialize ourselves and materialize ourselves? Okay. So in this process, in the journey, this next 21 days, it could be longer than that. It is a process by which we will materialize the non-material aspect of ourselves, which is our wisdom, mentality, and character. Okay? It will be our job to materialize. So the wisdom, mentality, and character, those are non-material aspects. But we are going to materialize it. Okay? With this step-by-step coaching program, I will show you how to materialize wisdom. How do you materialize wisdom? That's a good question. Okay? How do you materialize mentality? How do you materialize character? Okay, so if by sticking to the program, you will get to materialize wisdom, mentality, and character. Okay, and how do you non-materialize the material aspect of yourself? Okay, the material aspect of ourself is our material, possession, money. Okay, our finances, our physicality, our competency. Okay, how do you non-materialize it? Well, I'll give you a little secret. I am non-materializing the material stuff right now for you guys by packaging it into a program that I can give to you. You are getting it in non-material form. The knowledge, okay? Knowledge is non-material. And when you learn about competency, physicality, and material, you are acquiring non-material aspect of the material stuff. Okay, and then when you make that part of yourself, you will materialize it. Okay. You will understand this more deeply as we get closer and into the program. But the first part of the this program is all about learning the principles and the laws. Okay, learning the principles and the law that governs our life, our human life and experiences. Okay, we're going to focus on learning about wisdom. Okay, we will materialize wisdom, we will materialize mentality, we will materialize character. And that is how we will enrich ourselves. Okay, just like the marketing world has been able to non-materialize the material, and we are going to do the same thing. We're going to non-materialize the material, and we're going to materialize the non-material. And as a result, we ourselves will be more valuable as a human being. We will be more worth. Is that worth doing? Is it worth doing to enrich ourselves, to make ourselves more valuable? After this program, you will be rarer.
Most
You will not be,
definitely. Yes.
you will no longer be a common person. Okay, we won't be a commonplace purse or a shoe. We will be a rare item. Yeah, we'll be a rare sought after item. That's the goal. Our value as a human being will improve to the degree where we will be rarer than people around us. That's transformation.
We are all rare items. We're each individuals, so there's no one else like me, and there's no one else like you.
There
We're
will
all rare.
rare.
Yeah.
We're halfway there.
Well, yeah, yes, well, you can appreciate your own uniqueness. Okay, you can appreciate your own uniqueness, but when it comes to the idea of rarity, the commonplace understanding is that, oh, there's so few of them that I gotta have it. I gotta spend money to have it. You get the idea, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So we will become the kind of people that other people will seek after. Okay. Yeah. Because we have value, we're people with value, people of value. Okay. And as a consequence, okay, our value as a human being will improve. Our inner being will be whole and complete. Our health will be whole and complete. Our relationship will be whole and complete. And our finances will be whole and complete. How many people in the world can you think of who is whole, perfect, and complete in health, relationship, inner being, and finances? How many? Pretty rare.
Yes.
Pretty rare. Okay, pretty rare. Okay, so and the only way to do that is to align ourselves with universal principles and natural law. Okay, we already have it. We have the principle of alignment. We have the principle of transformation. We have the principle of mental activation. Just use them. Just align yourself with them. And now we have the most powerful principle of all, principle of light. Okay, and principle of light, once again, it's not about fixing problems. Okay, all of us come into this program with problems. Okay, you shared with me in the interview. Okay, I appreciate those of you who are really open up in the interview as well as in the classroom. You share with me your problem, but you also share with me your dreams and your goals. Principle of light saying that you cannot remove your problem. You can try, but it won't work. Instead, bring the light in. Focus every day on your goals and dreams. Okay, focus every day on your goals and dreams. When you do the lesson impression and realization, ask yourself, how does this bring me closer to my goals and dreams? Always ask that question. How do I bring myself closer to my goals and dreams? Do we have time for an extension of the principle of mental activation? Anybody here in a rush to go? I know it's almost 9 o'clock, but
I think that's a lot for one day today.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to share something, what you were just talking about, the rarity of non-materialized, and just reminded me of people that we hired, like Vietnamese young boys, and they're sought after now because of their work ethic. And it kind of just brought in a light for me at that moment, an aha moment that, yeah, non-materialized and materialized, the rarity of it. Yeah, we'll be sought
And if
after
you
once we have it.
and if you're the boss, right? Are you the boss? Are you their boss? The supervisor?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so if you're their
supervisor.
boss,
Yeah.
imagine this. Okay, imagine what happened then. Work ethic, that's part of the character, right? Imagine if you can non-materialize them even more. Imagine that you, as the supervisor, enrich their mentality, enrich their wisdom.
Yes.
Imagine that you, as the supervisor, enrich their physicality, okay, make them strong.
Yes.
Give them more competency. Okay. Don't worry so much about the material. Give them integrity.
That's one thing I am
Right?
working on is their competency
Okay.
because their level of experience is not there yet. So I'm helping them
But
with.
that's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay. The thing with competency, okay, where's that? The thing about the competency is this. We have been working on this. Every business, every organization have been focusing on, developing the competency, which is fine. Okay, which is fine. But if you don't give them physicality, if you don't give them character, mentality, and wisdom,
Mhm.
then what's going to happen is that you will build the competency to a point where they will be too valuable for you to hold on to.
Yeah.
At some point, they will be like, hey, I can make money. I can make more money with another company using my competency.
Well, that has
That's how.
happened.
Exactly. Exactly.
I
That's because we have not nurtured the character, the mentality, and the wisdom. In the mentality, there is the mentality of honoring gratitude. If a person honors and is grateful, honored by the company that work for, is grateful for the chance to contribute and create value, then they have more loyalty. Even if they were to leave, they will contribute something that is long lasting. They will train another person to replace the position. That we'll talk about the gift, 7 gifts of life, and one of them is the gift of their position, as opposed to a person who just suddenly quit because they find a better job. A person who has honoring gratitude will make sure that their position is filled by another person adequately. But only if they have mentality, only if they have character and wisdom. Right. So the mistake that most of us make is that we train the competency, we give them skills. And oftentimes we neglect their physicality, their health, their physical health. They may have great skills, but they get sick and then boom, you're
Mhm.
paying for workers' comp, you're paying for time off, you're paying for all this stuff. You can give them more money, right? That's the material aspect. You give people more money, but if you give people money and it's only built on the money and the competency, it's still unsustainable. But if you work on their wisdom, which is their levels of awareness and about themselves and about their environment, you work on the love. Remember, love. Okay.
Yeah.
Not only love for themselves, but love for the family and organization. The organization, that's your job. That's your company. Enrich their love for your organization. But the
Yes.
only way that you can enrich for your organization is if you show that you are committed to their total and complete transformation. That you're interested in not only their competency, you're not only just paying them material wealth so that you can acquire the competency. No, you're saying, I am committed to your whole being.
Mhm.
I'm committed to your health. I'm committed to your relationship. Make their personal problem yours if you dare to go that far.
Mhm.
Make their inner being, make the wisdom, the mentality, the character, the integrity your life's mission. And when a person can see that you are committed to their life, they'll give you their life.
Yeah. So
They'll be loyal.
yes, the company have this policy in place. That's the way to retain yes, the employees longer, and it's more commitment. It's a better way to do business now, and it seems like giving them motivational people come in and how's their well-being. It really
Yeah.
helps. Yes.
Okay, many companies have reached that level of awareness when they are willing to commit to providing the well-being for the employee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's still the there's still the we'll get more into detail like later, but even when companies give the employee some sense of well-being, the physicality, right? You give them health program or give them exercise program and all of that stuff. The intention is still to reap the benefit from the person's competency. The
Okay.
intention is still to benefit the company. But if you open that up a little bit, that up a little bit, and you are committing to investing in the human being, that your end goal is not so that I'm making this human being a better tool so that I can make more money. At some point, that's gonna fall apart. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get that. Oh yeah, they're doing all this stuff, and it's a great job to be with, and they're giving me not only good pay, they're giving me all these programs, they're making me healthy. But in the end, they're really doing this so that I can be a better worker and make more money for them.
A value to them.
Unless you can make the employee feel like, you know what, you employee are the end goal. That my mission is you. My mission is not using you for another purpose. My mission is you. And if you're if that's why we have to synchronize our awareness. If your mission, if our company's mission align with your mission, if you can do that, okay, then you can encompass your mission can encompass the well-being of the individual, his family, and his work. Yeah, make the employee your end goal. Make his holistic health your end goal. Make his holistic wealth your end goal. And when you do that, he will give you his whole being. Mm. That's the
And
secret. That's a
once they
secret.
once they get that, then I will be able to get to my goal in retiring.
Yes, darling.
Yeah. Okay. That is a gift of your position. Okay. Yeah. Give the employee the benefit of whole being. Give the employee the benefit of being whole, perfect, and complete, and they will be totally loyal to you. Okay. And in the reality, when a person have richness in mentality, wisdom, and character, they will feel fulfilled. They'll feel that is enough, and they won't demand the material compensation as much. You can actually save a lot of money by building a person's wisdom, mentality, and character. You can save a lot of money by enriching a person's non-material. Instead of investing in the material, you invest in non-material, and you can actually save a lot of material resources. Okay, look at charitable organization that operates on volunteers. Okay, how is it that they are able to get people to volunteer for free and still accomplish great goals and tasks in society? It is because of the non-material, right? The mission, the passion, the giving. It is love. Okay, it is the power of love that you're tapping into. If you can tap into the person's love, not only for the self, right, but the family, the organization, for the world, you tap into their love for the organization and the world, then you will be able to bring out their potential, their ability to give, and so you don't have to give a lot of money. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Lesson, impression, and realization. I know anybody else who want to share. We lost Nancy. That's okay. Sen, Jihang, what do you get out of today's sharing?
Exactly. Just select in itself. That's materializing non-material. And, and materializing the non-material and non-materializing the material. And especially you with about the marketing, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's branding and there is just making yourself a rarity. Once you understand you're a rare person, money will flow to you. Money
You
will,
go.
right? Yeah.
You go. Yeah. Yeah. You see your awareness of yourself has expanded a
Mhm.
little bit. Yeah. Okay. So who you are is a person of being whole, perfect, and completeness. Okay. You just haven't realized it. Okay. Who you are is right here. Okay. Who you are is whole, perfect, and complete. Okay. You just haven't realized it. So my job is to open that up for you. Okay. Peel back all the layers and get you to recognize and realize that, oh, I am whole, perfect, and complete, that I am a person with value and I am actually pretty rare. Okay. Through the process of enriching our wisdom mentality character, we're going to work on our physical health as well. We work on our relationship health as well. Okay.
I had another lesson in impression realization is when we were talking about the 10,000 lesson impression realizations and 1,000, you got to have 30 a day.
Hmm.
I think too, for me, like if I look at principle of transformation, I'm lacking in conditions. And yeah, because I don't know, maybe I'm just making this up for myself. I'm not, I'm procrastinating again, is what I'm doing probably. So the conditions I feel after class, I gotta hurry up and go do something else or whatever. So maybe one of the things I'm still lacking is the conditions after
Well,
class.
let's go back to the principle of light. Okay. Principle of light.
Mhm.
The principle of light says that if you want to brighten up this house, you have to do what?
Bring in the
Bring the
light.
light in. Darkness represent what? The problems, the
Taking,
challenges,
yeah.
the barriers. So if you're gonna focus on the barriers, you're essentially focusing on the darkness. How do you expect your room to brighten up?
Mhm. I got it.
So how can you
Very good.
rephrase what you've just said? How can you rephrase what you've said that aligns with the principle of light?
Bring in the light. I will make the time. I will just do it. Other things can wait.
Okay, that's one way to do it. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's very important. Our words create our reality, and if we speak the language of light, we speak about what we want instead of what we don't want. Okay, what we don't want is these barriers. If we speak about what we want, we're essentially bringing the light in. We're focusing on the light, and the secret is that the more you focus on the light, the more the light will brighten up.
Mhm.
But the moment that you let go, the moment you turn away from the light, then all you see is darkness, right? And another secret is that, doesn't matter how long the darkness has been in this room, doesn't matter how long problem or challenges or barriers have been in our life, doesn't matter. It could be there for 1,000 years, okay? But the moment a single light is turned on, it will begin to drive away the darkness. A moment that we have a single positive thought in alignment with our desire, it will
Mhm.
drive away the darkness. So hold tight to that dream, hold tight with that goals and vision, and speak language that align with what we want, not what we don't want. You get
Yes.
that part?
Yeah.
You get that, Sen?
Yeah.
Jihan, you still there?
Yeah. I seen the top of her head.
Do you get that,
Yes.
Jihan? What
Yes.
did you get?
Yes, I get also try to bring light in, not remove the darkness in the room.
Okay, that's it. That's a
And
that's a theory.
also the
That's it. Mhm.
yes, and also the and also um uh to build the house and first we need to build inner being and health and relationship and the finally financial at the end. So
Okay.
it gets stronger.
Okay. Which areas of your life are you working on right now? Is it your inner being, your health, your relationship, or your finances? Which area is most important to you right now
Inner
in terms
being,
of your goals and dreams?
inner being is the most important for me.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a goal with respect to your inner being? What do you want to achieve?
Uh, for um uh, uh for uh seven seven rich, how do you say, bảy sự giàu toàn diện đó thầy.
7 holistic wealth.
Yeah,
Seven holistic wealth. Where's that diagram? Okay, the 7 holistic wealth.
yeah, seven holistic wealth. Yeah, seven holistic wealth.
Okay, which of the 7 holistic wealth are you aiming at? Which one first?
Integrity, wisdom, yeah, virtue is the most important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for that. The question is,
Thank you.
who's gonna send me the gold box after this lecture? Okay, the gold box method is the lesson impression and realization. And the reason I say the gold box is that I'll tell the story again. Each of us is like a beggar sitting on the street. Okay, we've been sitting on a gold box. We have wisdom and awareness, we have knowledge, we have the potential of being whole, perfect, and complete. We have the light within us, but we just don't know it. We've been sitting on it for years, on top of a box. All I'm doing is point to you, look inside. Look inside the box. Not just any box, but look inside yourself. Okay? And so that's why when we do a lesson, you review the lesson, you find the impression. Impression is that which is applicable to you, your own life. You look inside yourself and find that gold, find that realization, expand that awareness. Okay? So with that, can you guys commit to posting a video of your lesson impression, after the class and, every day? There you go. Yeah, and every day. Every 30 minutes if you can. Okay, you want a 10,000 in 10 months. Okay, the more lessons you have, the more gold you give me, the richer you will get.
Thank
Okay,
you.
the more,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, thank you,
All
Frank.
right. We'll see you next
Thank
week.
you so much,
Yeah,
Frank.
question?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I don't know if you will have time, but we have our exams coming up as well.
Okay.
I was just wondering I don't know if Sen's on board with this, if we can get a review from you for honoring and gratitude. Just quick review with you.
Okay.
Maybe not
You
right
want to do
now,
it right
but
now? Oh, okay. When do you want to do it?
whenever Sen would be available, and I mean I'm available mostly anytime except
Yes, yeah, I have the same question, John.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
same question for you.
So tomorrow I'm interpreting for the mentors. So I guess after that, do I have anything after that? I think I'm free after the mentor class tomorrow.
Okay, we
So
might have
after
a
your
house Zoom at first, but then
yeah.
after the house Zoom, that would be great. If Sen
Okay.
and Kang want to do that as well.
I think Lin May will also help us review as well, right?
Yes, that's Monday too.
Monday.
Ling is doing it on Monday. Maybe Tuesday after class,
Tuesday after class? Okay.
after our house Zoom. Okay.
Okay. Alrighty, Tuesday. So we're looking at 6 a.m. Vietnam time on Tuesday. No, that'll be Wednesday Vietnam time. So we're looking at Tuesday our time. Okay, we're using our time. Tuesday Pacific Tuesday Pacific time, 4 p.m. Okay, 4 p.m. for West Coast. That's what 7 p.m. East Coast, right, Sam?
Yes, percent, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 hour difference. Okay,
So
Already.
what time in Vietnam time thầy?
That'll be
You-
9. That'll be 6 a.m. on Wednesday. 6 a.m. Wednesday, Vietnam.
Wednesday for Finland.
I think at that time our class still on.
So after mentor class
After the
on
mentor.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you want to review on honoring gratitude.
Honoring gratitude. That's
Energy,
our topics
wisdom.
in the
Group.
Yes, going to be great. Thank you,
yes.
thầy.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
What is your
She's honoring and gratitude as well.
we have you grounding? Wow.
yes, yes,
Awesome.
yes, thầy.
Okay.
Awesome, yeah.
We'll,
Long time.
we'll see you guys
On
tomorrow.
what
We'll see you
day?
guys
On
tomorrow.
Wednesday or
Yes.
Thursday, thầy?
Okay, thank you.
Wednesday or Thursday?
Very much.
Yeah. Ron will remind you. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
See you
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
take
you
care.
so much, thầy.
Bye, Sen. Bye, Hung. Bye, Frank.
Yes, thank